What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 138. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother Nick. As always, Nick, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing fantastic on this beautiful Labor Day, man. Hey,
Yeah,
happy Labor Day to everybody out there.
yeah. Happy long weekend. If you get Labor Day off, hopefully you guys enjoyed it with family, friends, all that good stuff. Um, Nick, how was your Labor Day weekend and your weekend stuff like that?
It was very chill. We did I don't know if you can see behind me, but the hole in the wall is gone. We did some spackling and then
Nice.
got some paint. The paint isn't the same. It's not the same finish. It's like a satin, and I think the rest of the wall is a flat finish. So you can kind of see it. Like you can definitely see the new paint on the wall, but we did our best. So
Yeah.
lesson learned. Not going to use that double-sided wall tape again, which is a good lesson going into this new house, going into that to home ownership. You know, getting all this stuff out of the way, and then we can be experts when we actually get into the house. But aside from that, pretty good weekend. Did a lot of like cleaning around the apartment and watched Brendan. We went to Brendan's brother's engagement party. He got
Okay.
engaged this weekend, so we went to celebrate them, and that was super fun. And then just did some gaming, man. Played some Cult of the Lamb. Excited to talk about that in a little bit. But Harrison, how you doing, man?
I am
How's your
doing
weekend?
just amazing. I left my my job and I got a new one. Yeah, I just didn't
I
leave my
got
job.
I got a new one.
I got a new one. No, but like I try not to talk about my job and stuff too much on air and stuff like that. But yeah, I was getting real tired of it. Just a lot of I don't know. I was just feeling really stressed all the time, like to the point where like I talk so much during like my job and stuff, just taking phone calls, and it's a call center job, so it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I was just starting to like come home and like just not wanting to talk, just because I was just exhausted mentally.
Mhm.
Um, so I got a new one. It's in the same insurance field or whatever, but it'll be a lot more personal and less of a call center type vibe. So I'm very excited. One of those things where I should have maybe planned it a little bit better, but I told my job that I was putting my 2 weeks in, and they're like, oh well, since you it's going to a competing company, you got to be done now. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
no hard feelings. Like they even said, you're leaving on good terms. So if it doesn't work out, let us know.
Oh, that's nice.
So
Okay.
yeah, that was super cool. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that because it was like 10:30 in the morning on like a Wednesday, and so I just wasn't expecting to be done completely, right? So, um, I mean, luckily I only go in the office 2 days a week, so I didn't really have to bring much. Like I didn't have to
Hmm.
take much home because I don't leave anything there, like any personal belongings or decorations or anything like that you normally would leave at a cubicle or whatever, like when you work full time at the office.
Yeah.
But so yeah, just kind of left all my stuff and called Brittany at like 10:45. Was like, hey, I'm coming home. Um, which was funny because she was like, this is gonna be like my first day, like by myself, like no kids because the kids were in school. Um,
Oh, right. Okay.
and then she was like, you couldn't even give me one day. You couldn't give me one day by myself, and I was like, I'm sorry. So it is what it is. But so yeah, that was good. So just having my plan was to do my 2 weeks and then give myself like 5, maybe 6 days to kind of decompress. But now I get like 3 weeks, so I plan on doing some stuff
Blessing in
around the
disguise a
yard
little bit.
and um, yeah, doing some stuff around the yard and get a lot of gaming in. I've been playing
Mhm.
a lot of Xenoblade yesterday, but and then the kids started school this week. Kaylee started 8th grade and Kellen started kindergarten, which was super exciting. Because I get to take him to school every day and pick him up, so that's pretty awesome to be able to do that now.
That's nice.
Um,
Yeah.
now I could have taken him to school every day before, but not picking him up. So that's cool to experience that for at least a few weeks. But
Hmm.
he's loved it so far. Like even we picked him up on Friday and he was kind of starting to get a little teary eyed because he didn't want the 2 days off. He wanted to to keep going to school. And I was like, buddy, trust me, you need those 2 days to decompress and do your own thing.
Yeah.
But
Give him time. He'll want those 2 days eventually.
exactly. But he's loved, and like he's having a great time so far, learning lots of stuff. I mean, he's getting up really nice, going to bed, like, he's just excited. So that's awesome.
That is about the best thing you could wish for.
Yeah. I mean, like he was a little teary eyed when we dropped him off on last Monday. But then after that, he had his first day and he was good to go. So yeah, about as best as we could have hoped for, with dropping him off. But after we took him to like the open house, like he was, he saw all the crafts and stuff. Like he was like, oh, this is actually like pretty cool. So
yeah, it's not all. I don't know what he expected, but kindergarten's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
again, you got nap time, arts and crafts. You learn how to write, which super fun, I guess. But
learn how to read and write and all that fun stuff. But
yeah,
and then Friday we hung out, Saturday hung out, did our typical thing, and then Sunday just the parents took the kids to the pool and had them spend the night last night. So I was up until about 3:00 playing Xenoblade.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
you're hooked, man.
Yeah,
you're in.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. And then today we went over to mom and dad's house and did like some chicken wings on the grill and stuff like that. So it was a good week. It was a good week.
Nice. That's what I love to hear.
Yeah.
Well, happy for you. Happy you got a new job. I suspected something had happened when I saw that you were streaming Fortnite at 8:30 in the morning. I was like, this is weird. This is like a Thursday or Wednesday or whenever it was. And
yeah.
That's when I texted you. I was like, hey, did you tell your company yet?
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of Fortnite, I'll talk briefly about that. Continue to play that. I am almost through the battle pass. I want to get Darth Vader.
Wow.
I've kind of slowed down a little bit. I'm not as into it. The bot fest is kind of dwindling down, so I'm playing a lot more of like real people. So like all of a sudden my skill level is not as good as I thought it was. But still getting the victory royale here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And now like the Dragon Ball stuff is done. There's not a lot of like quest stuff that's going on right now. Like I'm still unlocking, or I'm still like doing like daily quests and stuff like that. But I really liked having like that thing to focus on each each
quest
round.
line.
Yeah, like a quest line to do. But still, the game's still a lot of fun. I'll probably at least get through the battle pass, and then I anticipate I'll probably be done by Friday when Splatoon comes out, and that'll be my next thing. So and then other than that, I have been playing Xenoblade. Like I said, Sunday, I probably put about 9 hours maybe. I want to say, because I think I started at like the 20-hour mark, and I ended up on 29, like even. So I played a lot.
Nice.
I got through chapter. Well, I think I was already on chapter. So I got to chapter 4, and got to the right at the start of chapter 5. So I won't spoil anything, obviously, but combat still seems to be so much fun. Nick, that video that you showed me last week about the
the chain attacks.
The chain attacks was so helpful. Like it's that like chain attacks. Once you get that, like that is like a crucial way to win. Like you have to use those. And then been playing around with like I've unlocked couple of new hero classes and been kind of toying around with those.
Nice.
And those are a lot of the one I just unlocked from. This is not really a spoiler, but Ashera, the Colony 11 commander. She's got like kind of like the lightsaber looking like dual wieldy thing, like stick.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Is she an attacker?
Yeah. She's I think she's an attacker. That one's a lot of fun to use. I have not messed like as far as like buying new equipment and stuff and like selling stuff. I have not messed with any of the items in the game. I usually just like click like auto build to.
That's what I did toward the end.
Okay, I don't know if that's something I should like focus on that I'm missing out or
Um,
anything. But
I would say unless you get stuck on a boss. Are you playing on easy, normal, hard?
I'm playing on normal. Like the
Okay.
last couple bosses I've fought, I've died a few times, and generally when I die, I usually just switch everybody back to like their original roles, and then I usually can get through it.
Yeah. Um, Sorry, what was the original question?
Oh, I was talking about the items. Like, should I mess around with like
Oh
the
yeah.
items and buying new stuff, or should I just?
I never bought anything.
Okay,
I have a lot of gold. I have a
I
lot
think
of
I have like
legendaries and stuff
80,000
like that.
gold right now or something like that. I just
Yeah.
so
Well, let me ask you this: Are you switching classes around a lot and leveling those up?
yeah.
Like, are you
Generally
constantly
speaking,
like
if I'm like
once
in
one gets
between
to
boss
10?
fights and I feel like I can do that, like I'll switch everybody to. I'll make sure that once they hit level 10, then they're the class that they're in. I'll switch them to a new one.
Hmm.
And usually try to keep like at least two medic style classes at all times, just depending on what I can
Yeah.
get them at. But yeah, I'll always switch them to something new once they get it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I did because I guess there are some people that just keep the classes that were set for the characters. Like once the character hit level 10, I was always switching them around, just trying to keep
Yeah, I haven't
the
really.
smash combo.
Yeah, I haven't really. Like, I'm sure each boss has like a better strategy, but I haven't really found
Hmm.
any particular boss to be. I don't know.
There is
For
one boss. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that I haven't found any boss yet that I needed to. Okay, I need like a certain amount of defenders, or I need more attackers than defenders, or whatever the case is. I haven't found
Hmm.
that yet. But you said that there is one at least.
There's one in chapter 6 in
Okay.
particular that I had a lot of trouble with, and the reason for that is because that boss, it was hard to break their stance, and it was hard to put any debuffs on them.
Okay.
So like it was hard to get that smash combo with the break, topple, launch, smash,
Yeah.
and that made it really hard. So I think I had to like change around the items and the equipment a little bit, and
Okay.
then I think I like added like another defender, and I had like three defenders against this boss instead of like one or two.
Right.
But like aside from that, like I never had trouble, never had too much trouble with my current setup, like whichever like setup I was rolling with, because I just always made sure that I could do a combo of some sort, whether that be like the days combo or
Yeah.
the smash combo. Like I just made sure I could do one of those with
Yeah.
my
I
with my
forgot
party
about that
lineup.
combo. I need to look at that and make sure I'm
It's
always getting that.
especially for chain attacks too,
Yeah.
because that can really multiply the damage that
Yeah.
you're doing. But yeah, the break top will launch. That's like a really really helpful combo
Okay.
just to like break up a boss's attacks or break up their patterns or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been man.
Did you think?
it's gonna be game of the year material. Like it's gonna be a battle. I'm gonna have to once I get through it.
Mm,
Yeah, it's gonna be close, man. Between that and Elden Ring and whatever else can kind of stack up there with that
yeah,
top three. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, the story so far is just super just intriguing. Like it's a very
yeah.
cool story. So
Like it's very broad, but it's also like it's a very character driven story.
yeah,
Like the overarching story itself is super interesting, but then like the nuances of all the different situations of all the characters, that's like the meat of like the story is
yeah.
just seeing like, oh man, it's so good.
I think when we're done,
So good.
or when I'm done, Nick, we'll have to do a spoiler cast.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, and I'll separate it in the feed or whatever, just so it's separate. But yeah, I think we should do. I think it's one of those games that deserves a
Mhm.
like a 20-minute discussion or something like that. But But yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. Like I said, I'm right at the beginning of chapter 5. I know the end of chapter 5 is gut wrenching, so I'm preparing myself for it. I have no idea what's going to happen. Um, so we'll see. But I'm excited to keep going. I'll probably play a little bit more tonight, but um, I'm
Mhm.
excited to keep going. I'm so glad that I picked it up because it's just been such a great experience.
Is this one of the biggest surprises this year in terms of like
I don't.
what you expected to play?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily. I knew the game was good. I just didn't know if it was
Mhm.
for me necessarily. Um, and maybe going back now and playing Xenoblade One or something, like I'll understand like the concept a little bit better
Yeah.
than what I did before. Um, so yeah, yeah, it was a surprise. Like again, I knew the game was gonna be good. Like I knew it was gonna be like probably the best out of the series, but I
Mhm.
just didn't know if it was gonna be for me specifically. And now that I'm almost 30 hours in, I'm in. So it's awesome.
Good.
Yeah,
It's good to hear.
yeah, it's good.
Oh man, I'm excited for you to finish. Just don't get overwhelmed by the area of chapter 5 because I don't want to like not to spoil anything, but like it's a bigger area.
Yeah,
So just
I haven't been exploring that much. I've been I have like the thing turned on where like it shows you like where to go. So I haven't
Mhm.
had that. I've been generally speaking to the main story, and as I come across side missions and stuff, um, because like a Shara with Colony 11, like that's
Yeah.
right before the end of chapter 4, and I actually went off and went to like the next like the floating platform area, and died and got booted back, and then I was like, wait, what is this
Oh,
over
I know.
here? So I almost missed it. Um,
Yeah.
so I haven't been exploring. Now I plan on going back at some point, I guess, to go back, but um,
It kind of gates you off with the levels
okay,
of the enemies.
yeah,
Like oh this one's like a level 60. I'll come back later. You know,
yeah,
it's not like you're really missing out on anything in the moment. It's more so this is like a postmark for you to come back later
yeah.
and explore more because that's what I did and that's what I'm still doing. So
Cool. Sweet.
yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. I always like when games like give you an option to go back, whether it's and most games nowadays do. I mean, whether they put you off before like the final boss fight or
Mhm.
there's like stuff to do after everything's said and done. Um, but Nick, any thoughts on Xenoblade? I'm about to go give Kellen a hug real quick.
Okay. Anyone should play this if you're on the fence
Yeah,
for sure.
I was gonna say I wish they would have put a demo out, but how do you demo that game? I don't think
It's
that's
so hard,
yeah.
man. I like. Do you put them in the middle of somewhere? Do you like put them like right at the beginning and just say, "Hey, you can do 2 to 4 hours. See if you
Yeah,
like it."
I guess or yeah, maybe just start them from the very beginning and give them like a 3 hour session or something. I mean, that's nothing to
Like
end the game. So
play until you meet up with the other side,
yeah, yeah, that'd be cool.
maybe.
Because man, boy, is this game like anime as hell. Like
It is,
it's so good, man. Like
but it's
it's
not like it's not cringe anime. It's like it's cool anime.
no, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's
no,
not.
it's very cool anime.
It's not
But
like
I will
Xenoblade
be
Chronicles 2.
I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, I'll take a break too.
All right, I am back.
How's Mr. Kellen doing?
He's doing good. He was about to fall asleep.
Oh, right on time.
Yep, right on time at 9 o'clock. Well, it's like we were hanging out Friday outside, and he came out there and got on my lap, and he was about to fall asleep, and I was like, "Yep, let's go
Mhm.
ahead and get you into bed. You can
Mm.
watch some TV or something." Um, so yeah, that was what I've been playing, Xenoblade and some more Fortnite. But Nick, how is Cult of the Lamb going for you?
Oh, it's going great. I finished it this afternoon. Harrison, uh,
What's
sorry to break it to you, man.
yeah, you had an idea?
You died. You,
No.
you you made it to old age. You made it to a. It's so funny. Like once the characters hit like between 40 and 50 years old, their avatar changes like into this gown with a cane,
Yeah.
and you just like kind of like walk slowly everywhere. So like I don't know why they chose 40 years old to make you like an 80-year-old or 90-year-old, but I think the average lifespan in this game is like 50 to 60 years.
Okay,
So you lived a good long life,
good.
and made some great contributions. I got a grave for you.
That did I throw up a
Um,
lot?
you did, yeah. You threw up a lot. Not everyone was as lucky. Um, I had to sacrifice some people mid run
Okay.
because when you die, you get a chance to come back by sacrificing someone, and depending on what level they are, it'll give you like 2 hearts, 4 hearts, 4 hearts with like extra hearts or whatever. Um, so I had to do that a bunch. Had a lot of dissenters in my cult, so people going against my teachings
Yeah.
and trying to convince others to rebel against me. So I had to put them in jail. Had to
Can't
had
have
to
that.
preach the good word to them every day until they stopped dissenting. I mean, it's been a wild ride. It's been a really fun game. A lot of poop, a lot of poop and throw up everywhere in my cult, but it is a really it's a really excellent game. And me like naming characters after all my friends just made it way more fun.
Yeah.
Because whenever someone died, I would just like whoever the next person I got, I would just name them so and so too. Like so if like
Yeah.
Brendan died, it'd be like Brendan too. And it helped me keep track. And I did that up until the very end, where in order to face the final boss, like after you've gone through the 4 areas and you kind of go through them 4 times because you're unlocking their respective doors, and they're gated off by 4 separate beings. So after I did all that, I was down to like 9 followers in my cult, and in order to fight the final boss, I needed 20. So I
Mm.
had to like go through various runs of random areas again, just to kind of like get new followers. I had to buy some new followers, and from that point, I was like, okay, I'm trying to beat the game. I'm not gonna name anybody anymore.
Yeah.
It's just canon. It's cannon fodder at this point. Like
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get there. So did that, um, and then finished it up. Final
Sweet.
boss wasn't too hard. And took me one try. So
Nice. What
fun
was your
game.
final like count in the game like time wise?
One wise. It's like 14 hours.
Okay. That's not bad.
Yes, not super long. I think it's a perfect length. I was beginning to get tired of like the management part of it, like
Yeah.
the sim part of it, strictly because I had like unlocked all of like the beneficial items,
Okay.
like the mine and um but like like all the resource perks and stuff like that I had already unlocked. And yeah, so I don't know if this game is meant to be perpetually played or if it's meant to be played until you beat it, but it seems like it's just meant to be played until you finish it,
Yeah.
and then maybe do another run and choose different doctrines to put in place. 'Cause you get a choice of two, and you can choose one, and it kind of like changes the way your cult runs.
Okay.
So I guess there's that instance of replayability, but I think it was a perfect length. I was beginning to get a bit burnt out, but you know, can't fault it for that because I beat it around that point. So it's like I really wasn't too tired of it by the time I finished it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
The
I
one
do want to play it.
major, yeah, it's a really great game, and I recommend it. And this is kind of connected to my major drawback, but I don't know if I'd recommend it on the Switch because there are some serious frame rate issues, not only on your runs, like when you're dungeon crawling or whatever you want to call it, but also in your cult, like in your little town. Like there's
Yeah.
also frame rate issues there. And
I mean,
it got to a point where it was like
is
pretty
it
bad.
doing that much to where it's
I
causing
don't
these
think
dips
so.
like
Like,
that?
I mean, other than just having a lot of followers, like walking around and, you know, doing stuff, which is just like subtle animations. It's not like anything crazy is happening, but
Yeah. Huh.
I couldn't really pinpoint what was causing the frame rate issues, whether it was like new buildings being built, whether it was like a lot of followers walking around, a lot of like vegetation. like a lot of farming stuff. Like I just couldn't pinpoint it. And then when I was actually like doing the runs in the game, I had like a lot of frame rate issues, like fighting like bosses with a lot of like activity on the screen, like with a lot of particle effects and whatnot on the screen that caused the game to slow down a lot. So
Maybe it'll get.
nothing
I
that
mean, the
like
game just came out last week, right?
it was a few weeks ago. It did get a patch,
Okay.
so I can't comment on how it was before that patch because I
Yeah.
started playing after it went live. But
Yeah.
if it was any worse than this, I can see why people were pretty upset about the Switch version. But
Okay. Well, maybe
hopefully
I'll
they
get
give
another
it another
patch. Yeah.
patch. Yeah, like it didn't really take away from my enjoyment of the game because it didn't cause any issues to my progress. But
Were you playing on handheld or mainly like on TV docked?
mainly handheld.
Okay. I wonder if it
Maybe that
works.
was the problem.
Yeah, maybe it plays a little bit better. I mean, the dock isn't that much more
Yeah.
powerful or whatever, but it does give you a little bit of a boost. But
Yeah. And then there were like two glitches in my cold area that required me to restart the game because the camera like zoomed way in and I couldn't like leave the area or go into a building or anything. So I just had to restart the game. But
weird.
other than those issues, it was a pretty excellent game
Awesome.
and will probably show up on my top 10.
Nice.
Pretty high up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Fun game.
Sweet. Well, yeah, I do want to play it for like you said for game of the year purposes, and it just that was one of those games that highlighted when they were showing it off. I think it was at Games Fest. I think maybe I think it was.
It was either Games Fest or Devolver Digital's.
It might have been
event.
Devolver Digital actually. Yeah. So yeah, that was one of those highlights. I mean, I always like the pixel style games like that. Sweet. All right. Anything else you've been playing?
That's really it. That's
Okay.
about it.
Well, let's dive into the news and speculation, rumors. I guess I don't know.
News and rumors.
Yeah, news and rumors. So we'll talk about the big one of the show is Nintendo's September Direct. YouTubers are going nuts right now with all kinds of different speculations and theories and Jeff Grubb's comments.
Yeah, he started this whole dumpster fire.
He's been starting it this entire year. So I believe it was on like a podcast he was on, I think, Last of the Nintendogs.
Yeah.
He was talking about just the Direct and stuff, but he specifically mentioned Zelda Blowout. And I think he came back on Twitter and said that maybe he shouldn't have said that or whatever the case is.
That was like speculation.
Yeah, that was just speculation. So I want to start with, we'll finish off with that, but so as far as the Direct goes, we're thinking probably next week, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it could be this week, but what are your thoughts? When do you think it's going to happen?
I think it'll be next Wednesday. I think it'll be the 14th, which is the day before Tokyo Game Show starts, which is on the 15th. I think they'll either announce it Monday or Tuesday, and we'll see it on Wednesday. And I think it's gonna be pretty big.
Yeah,
seems like the stars are kind of aligning. There's a lot of like rumored projects that Nintendo has been sitting on for a while. And I know we talk about, Metroid Prime Trilogy and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess every single year.
Yep.
But this would kind of be the perfect time for them to release it.
This feels like the perfect storm right now. It feels.
Yeah, it really does.
And we try to hype responsibly. We're not. But when we start getting to that time, it's exciting to speculate and stuff like that. But yeah, I think if we don't get anything tomorrow, because I think if we were they were gonna, because they always usually do it like a day before, like the news, letting us know. If we don't get anything tomorrow, then I definitely think it's gonna happen next week, probably on Wednesday, like you said.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna do it on the day of TGS.
No, they wouldn't do that.
No. So that being said, we've kind of got a time frame. Generally speaking, their directs for September are the first like 2 weeks of of the direct, first, I don't know, 15, 17 days, something like that. So we're right there in the middle of that. It could happen. You know, they've had some directs that were in the first week. They've had some that were in the first couple of weeks. So really anything's possible. But the Zelda blowout thing, Nick. So what? So he used that phrase, right? He said it. Obviously, maybe he didn't mean it was going to be like this gigantic, like Zelda focused direct, because I don't think that's going to be the case at all.
Yeah.
So my what I think is going to happen is I think Breath of the Wild 2 will get shown. I think we'll get like maybe a 2 to 3 minute trailer, show off maybe some more gameplay, some different stuff like that. And I think we'll get a name, and I think we'll get a release date, an exact release date. And maybe like a follow up saying, hey, you know, in a few months we'll have its own direct by itself. Not that it necessarily needs that, but I think they'll say more news later to come in a exclusive direct or whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Do you think the release date is going to be March 3rd, 2023, which is exactly 6 years after the first one came out?
It's exactly 6 years, but I also think that Nintendo doesn't give a shit about like anniversaries. Obviously, they didn't care Zelda's 35th at all. We got the Game and Watch. I don't know. I'm either thinking maybe it'll either happen March 3rd or it'll be like towards the end, like the last Friday of March. Whatever that is, just since that's the end of their fiscal year. March 3rd would be cool. I think that would be awesome. You know, but
yeah,
I definitely think it's going to come out sometime in March, though. That's my
reasonable.
guess.
Yeah, which also puts that as the longest time between Zeldas.
Yeah, which is crazy because everyone thought, okay, sequel to Breath of the Wild, like they've already got the engine ready to go. They're just filling in, you know, whatever. And that's not the case. But Zelda always gets delayed, so I mean, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's crazy that this wait is going to be longer than the wait between Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. That one felt like an eternity. Like that one took the end of the Wii and then an entire Wii U generation.
Well, before Skyward Sword came out, what, 2011?
Yeah, 2011.
So okay.
But I think it was later in 2011.
Okay.
So it was really like 5 years and some change, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did not think we would wait this long. Maybe in the future, don't announce stuff like, you know.
Don't announce stuff.
Not that it mattered. I mean, we all knew that they were making another Zelda. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you get people so hyped up, and it's we haven't seen a trailer in 3 years. What's going on? It's a game. Is it in rough shape? It's like, no, they probably just announced it. You know, they gave us a quick little trailer, and that was it. And they probably just started working on it, like not so long ago. So,
I mean, this is a game we thought was going to come out in 2021.
Yeah,
which is stupid now, but
yeah, exactly.
But anyways, so I want to talk about the Zelda blowout.
Okay.
Because the most obvious thing is obviously Breath of the Wild 2. And the other super obvious thing is Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. Okay, so do you think these are happening?
So
number one. And number two, do you think it's coming in one pack? Or do you think it's going to be separate $60 games entirely?
I don't know. Like, I don't know where this dual pack thing came from. I don't know who started that rumor or speculation. I think it's happening. Those games are ready. Like they're they've been sitting on it. I mean, they were just simple, you know, not simple, but ports from that have already been HDified. So they're ready to go. So do I think they're happening? Absolutely. Do I think they're probably going to get announced this week or next week? I think so. I mean, if we go back to 2020 with Mario, they announced the All-Stars thing in September, and it came out in October. So this could very well be the case for Zelda.
September as well.
Yeah. It came out in the same month. Was it September?
Yeah.
So that would be kind of insane because like, what else is Nintendo have in September?
Just Splatoon.
Just Splatoon.
Yeah.
That would be kind of wild. I don't know if they would announce it now and it come out the end. That would be kind of
I
insane.
mean, it could.
They could. I mean, they did it with Mario. Mario's a huge seller, and it sold like insanely well.
10 million, I think.
So that, I mean, that could be insane. But I think it's going to happen whether they come out at the end of September or maybe they fill in that slot in December. That's kind of missing. Obviously, there's the Metroid Prime remake, so maybe this makes more sense for it to come out in end of September, and just to get it out as soon as as quickly as possible because it's Zelda. It doesn't need, it doesn't really need a lot of marketing time.
And it's a re-release.
Yeah, so. and it's just a re-release, so it's nothing crazy. Maybe they'll have an amiibo or something. I don't know. Do I think it's going to be a dual pack? I think people would be pissed off if it's $60 each.
Especially coming off of The Last of Us.
Yeah, coming off The Last of Us, and while that game is that the definitive way to play The Last of Us Part 1? Absolutely. It looks like a really great game. Is it worth $70? Probably not.
I think so.
I mean, unless you just never played it before, I don't know. But I think it's a possibility that it could be a dual pack. But it's also Nintendo, so they can do. I mean, they can get away with doing everything, whatever they want. So if they wanted to charge $60 per pop, I think people would be. I think a lot of people would be very mad.
Yeah, I think like also like one thing that hasn't been mentioned a lot is like if you're selling these games separately, they're like, and if you're selling them for $60, like the I feel like the games would kind of cannibalize each other in terms of sales. Like like your normal person would pick up whatever game they're nostalgic for. So like a lot of people would pick up Wind Waker, a lot of people would pick up Twilight Princess, but they wouldn't pick up both if they were $60. So, I if you were to run the numbers, I don't know if it would be more advantageous to do one $60 pack that has both of them or sell them separately and see, where the cards land in terms of sales. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think it makes more sense to just put them together. That way, whether or not this person's going to play Twilight Princess, they still have to buy the double pack to play Wind Waker. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting at, but it seems like it makes more sense to go.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, because I mean, people, like you said, people are going to pick whatever their favorite one is. I mean, some people are going to get both. I don't even know if I would do that. I would probably pick the one I want to play now, and then buy the other one at another point in time. I mean, I would definitely get both regardless because I'm a huge Zelda fan, so whatever. So obviously, we would prefer the dual pack at this point. I think like you said, I think it makes the most sense because you don't want to cannibalize sales for the other game. Twilight Princess I think it was the second highest selling Zelda game of all time at this point now. So maybe more people would pick Wind Waker up. I don't know. But they both came out on the Wii U, so like I think that's kind of crazy and unfair, and like we talked about last week, like kind of anti-consumer. Like don't do that to people, like. Because they'll buy it, but don't do that.
I would say just do both.
Good.
I would just say to do both for 60, or at the same time you can sell them separately for $40 each, or do like a Bayonetta 1 and 2 situation where they're $50 separately, but if you buy one of them, you can buy the other one for $10.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works physically, but
right. Because I definitely want both of them physical. I was watching. I don't know if you ever watched RGT 85.
Yeah, I've watched him.
So he was kind of throwing the idea about Nintendo kind of toying around with like the $70 price tag for these things. So maybe they release these for $70, and that kind of gets them in like that kind of like into that step of $70 games. Not saying that they would necessarily do that or if I agree, but that could be a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be a way for them to jump into that. I don't know if they could justify it for other games.
Yeah.
But if it's a dual pack, like I sure I wouldn't be happy with it. I think it would still be a little skeevy to charge $70
I think
for
so,
a
yeah.
game where I've already been HDified and already came out on Wii U. It's like, what are you doing? But they did that with Donkey Kong,
Yeah, that
Tropical
was
Country,
$60.
or
That was
Tropical
$10
Freeze.
more.
Yeah,
And they added Cranky
that
Kong.
did really well on the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, do you think so? Do you think that they add anything to these games, like any sort of like additional dungeon or anything like that, or do you think they're just going to port them, kind of as is? They'll probably, upres them a little bit, maybe. Just depends. Maybe, but do you think they touch?
I don't
these
think
things?
Wind Waker needs it.
Yeah.
I think Twilight Princess could definitely use another upres, or just updated textures.
Yeah.
Because that one, even on the Wii U, it looked pretty ugly.
Right.
But I could see them adding like small, like quality of life improvements, kind of like they did for Skyward Sword. But they already did that.
Yeah.
On the Wii U. So unless they like find more quality of life improvements to make, like they've already made like sailing faster in Wind Waker. They did a myriad of things in Twilight Princess, and that one was already like pretty good to begin with. But I don't know, like it's also weird because like it was so nice having the map on the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah.
Like how are they gonna transition that back to a one screen system? Because that's something people don't talk about is like the Wii U was really good for having for games that had maps or games that had inventory screens that you could just put down on the controller. And that's going to be gone on the Switch. So like you have to find a middle ground.
Yeah.
Obviously you could just press start and be at the inventory screen, but
still, it was.
I don't know. It'd be cool if they could find a way to get around that.
Yeah, I mean, the Wii U was a cool console. Like it just didn't have a lot
really
of
cool
like.
console.
It just didn't have a lot of games on it.
Yeah,
especially third party stuff. So okay, so that's Breath of the Wild 2, this dual pack thing. Even if they have those two things there, I still wouldn't call it a blowout. So what else I agree. What else do you potentially think could be here? I mean, there's the rumored like remake of Oracle and Agents and Seasons, which I would prefer that over the dual pack at this point. I want to see that.
Oh, yeah.
Like if they I don't know, got Grezzo involved and did like some sort of style, like I don't know if I necessarily want the Link's Awakening style, but something like that where they change the art style of the 2D games. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Well, like mentioning Grezzo, I think that makes sense because the last game that they released, I think was Miitopia. I think they worked on Miitopia, which came out in like 2021.
Yeah. Or
okay, they did, yeah.
Or maybe put like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, like put the 3DS versions or whatever on on the. They have to do a little bit of work for that, but I mean that's a possibility. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff, but I think the guaranteed things that are going to be there, I just wouldn't call it a blowout unless they had like some amiibos or something or something else there that they could call it that or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, I think Grezzo is working on another 2D Zelda. I think it'll be in the art style of Link's Awakening because they could like reuse a lot of assets.
Yeah.
But if that would make sense to have a game have like either Oracle of Seasons and Ages or like
that's
Minish Cap.
Yeah, I was gonna say Minish Cap maybe. Because I mean, other than that, I mean, you start getting into the stuff on the DS, and that's kind of hard to. It's hard to port over. I just don't think that's a possibility.
So that having that would turn this into a blowout.
Yeah,
I think. Like if you have 3 different games going on, or 4, with the dual pack, then that's pretty heavy. Some pretty heavy Zelda focus.
Yeah. So let's say we get our trifecta of a perfect Zelda direct. We get Breath of the Wild, we get the dual pack as a dual pack, and then we get I don't know, a remake of Oracle and Ages and Seasons as like I don't know if they would do those as a dual pack as well, or if they would do standalone for those.
Maybe add in that last game. Like I think Capcom had been working on a third game.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
In that.
So when do you think? 'Cause that's a lot of Zelda games to announce and show off. When do you think this stuff would come out?
Well, I think Twilight Princess and Wind Waker would be September.
Okay, so towards the end of September.
Yeah, I think.
So like September, the last 30th is the last day of September, and that's on a Friday. So
there you go.
Either there or maybe the 23rd. I think if it's going to get announced this week, it's the 30th. It's going to be announced next week, or this week it'll be the 23rd. Next week will be the 30th.
Okay.
Potentially. I mean, I'm just guessing at this point, but they can do wherever they want. Like put it like people are going to buy it anyways. So
Oracle games, I would just say they would be 2023.
Yeah.
And then Breath of the Wild 2 would be, spring, or whatever specific date in spring.
You think like the Oracle of Ages stuff would come like?
I think that'd be later
around
next
this time
year.
Next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
I think so. But
or what if they delay Zelda or Breath of the Wild again till holiday, and then they put Oracle of Ages and Seasons in the springtime? I'd be okay with that. I mean,
dude, I can see that. I can see that happening. I that would make sense. Like I can see this game getting delayed to holiday. I can see them announcing that in the direct, saying like, "Hey, like here's another trailer. Here's the title."
Coming holiday 2020 2023.
Yeah,
that's a possibility.
It'd be wild though.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be upset, but I mean, I want the best game possible. So, and if they give us that buffer of Oracle of Ages and Seasons, a lot of people didn't play this game, so that's a great. Obviously, they're completely different, style of games, but I think that's a good buffer to kind of appease people. In the meantime,
I think so. Well, anything else aside from Zelda that you're expecting or hoping for?
I mean, we talked about it kind of last week. I mean, the Primes, like the Prime thing, or a Metroid trilogy, something like that. The game, like I think they need to announce some more stuff for the expansion pack. I think they'll add the Zelda stuff, Age of Calamity DLC to that thing. If you want to include it into the Zelda blowout, I think
that would make sense.
I think they'll add or talk about Game Boy Color and advanced stuff. I think I had mentioned maybe Game Boy Color coming to like the base model, and then the advanced come to like the expansion pack. I think that would make a good amount of sense.
That would make sense.
I don't know what else. What games, unannounced stuff or updates to games? What would you want to see?
Well, it's been rumored that they've been sitting on a Fire Emblem for a while, so whenever they want to talk about that,
okay.
It's rumored that they were like working on like a remake, like a Fire Emblem remake, a new Fire Emblem, and of course Advance Wars. They could shadow drop that at this point. They could say, "Hey, this game's out today." And I don't think
we still need to know what's going on with Advance Wars. I think it's time to let that thing come out.
Yeah.
You've got to hear in the news, but I'll go ahead and bring it up now. They could potentially announce that It Takes Two is coming to the Switch.
That was leaked.
Yeah,
leaked by the snitch, which kind of also confirms that there's a direct coming soon, because that's like a direct level announcement.
Yeah, I mean,
as far as like third party titles are concerned.
Yeah, that was a huge game. So,
Yeah, that's cool. Hopefully that comes to the Switch, and hopefully it runs well.
Yeah, that might
It
have
ran
some.
great on the Xbox, but
Yeah, I might have some
Xbox,
trouble on the
yeah,
Switch, maybe
yeah,
potentially. Um,
yeah. Like any third party stuff that you'd want to see like come to the Switch, like any games that are already out that you'd like to see ported over.
I not really. I really don't
You don't
care
really
too
play
much
ports.
about third party stuff coming to the Switch. To be honest, unless it's like a third party exclusive, like Monster Hunter or something like that. Um, because
What
generally
if like
those
Resident?
games, yeah, like maybe Revelations 3 maybe that would be great to
Yeah,
get. For them to announce that. Um, yeah, there's nothing really else I can think of. I'm sure there is stuff, but um,
hmm yeah. I'd like to see another HD 2D like remake of some sort
yeah,
or new game. Whether that's like I don't know if they could do like Golden Sun or Chrono Trigger because I want to play that game. I haven't played that one before.
yeah, that game is cool.
Love like there's a lot of games that like I would love to visit for the first time, but just never played. Like I don't want to like go on a PC and play them. I don't
Yeah,
want to emulate it. I'd just rather play it on a console
yeah.
or and on the
Well, I
Switch.
think
But
even if they don't do like an HD version, like I think if they bring that stuff to the Game Boy Advance service or whatever, um,
mm,
a lot
that'd
of
be a
those
good.
games are. Game Boy Advance is incredible. So there's a lot of games that they could bring over from that. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
so they could start off with like Golden Sun and maybe Zelda or something. I don't know, and then
Hmm
launch stuff every month like they've been doing with everything else. But yeah, I don't. There's the rumored Donkey Kong game, but I don't really have a huge affinity for Donkey Kong. Um, I don't know. I don't know what else I would want to see. Maybe we'll
New
get the trailer for
Mario.
Mario, the movie coming out next year. Hey,
You mean Chris Pratt the movie?
yeah. Hey, I'm
Featuring Mario.
Mario. Watch where you're walking.
Hey guys, I'm Mario. I'm Chris Pratt.
I am curious. Like, I'll give the benefit of the doubt. I'm curious.
I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I'm sure it's gonna be an okay movie.
I just don't know why they didn't
Such
get
a
like the voice
weird.
actor for Mario to do it, but whatever.
Like he would do it. I'm sure he'd do it.
Yeah, I think he's in the movie. He's like doing he's like a cameo or
Oh
something.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they just
So
want
weird.
they want a big name attached to it.
Hmm
Um, but it's at least it's not live action. At least it's like animation. So
Yeah,
that's
thank
all.
God.
Anything else for the direct, Nick, that you could think of?
No, I am really excited though. I think it's gonna be a big one. Not to get anyone's hopes up, but we obviously didn't have one during the summer, or we didn't have a main direct.
Yeah, it's
And
time.
it's
It's time.
time. It's time to hear more about the games that are coming out over the next year. Like I'm sure we'll see more Bayonetta, more Mario and Rabbids, I'm sure,
Yep.
and then hear about those spring 2023 games. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty pumped for it.
I'm excited. I'll since I'm not working, I'll be at least live streaming it at some point whenever they announce it. Um,
Nice.
so that'll be cool. But all right, yeah, let's move on from the direct. We may be talking about it next week. Who knows? Um, Halo Infinite, Nick, just continues to.
TTL.
I think you said on Twitter that like every update there's always like a caveat or like a or but. So,
Yeah.
Halo Infinite they announced their winter update, which also extended their season 2 to March 7th, which is insane. It's like a
Like
9 month season now.
Unheard of.
So
for
that's
games.
wild. And they talked about some of the season 3 stuff, which sounds a lot better. But they also in the video that they announced that co-op split screen co-op is canceled at this point. What are your thoughts, Nick, on this?
Well, it's just really dumb. I think it's really stupid. And they didn't even say that they couldn't do it. They just said that they're allocating resources elsewhere, which is like an even bigger
Yeah,
kick to the face because obviously they can do it. Like people have done split screen in Halo Infinite and shown that it can run. Like it is possible. Whether you know there, whether there's trouble with like instancing when you're going into like an actual level or going into an area, that's one thing. But these are problems that can be worked around. They can be solved.
Yeah,
So
I mean, maybe
it's
even if it's an issue of like, maybe have like like a rubber band to like the main player. If someone goes off too
yeah.
far, you can reel them back in. But yeah,
It sucks for the people who've been waiting for this, for
well, because they said they were
like
going to do
waiting to
it.
play it.
That's the problem. They said that it was coming. And I don't know what's going on with 343. Like, it took them 7 years to make this game, and it didn't have they separated the multiplayer and the campaign, which was fine. We got the multiplayer a little bit early, and then the campaign dropped, and the campaign was awesome. Like it was an incredible first person single player experience. Like the sandbox was fun. The grappling hook was like the best grappling hook in the game. This is what I
Super
want
fun.
Halo to be going forward. They still have like the kind of the levels that you're used to with Halo. And yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun, but I just don't know what's going on with. I don't know if it's management. I don't know what they're
I
doing.
think it is.
I don't get why these seasons are this long. Um, I don't know why we're getting two maps. We need. I don't understand it. We just need more stuff. And we're gonna get. It sounds like from going from this winter update into season 3, we're gonna get more stuff. And I get that they're gonna, once they get Forge out there, they're gonna rely on the community to make Forge maps, and they'll probably pull those into the queue, which is cool because I mean the Forge looks awesome. Like the stuff you can do in Forge sounds
Look
incredible.
cool.
But I just don't know what they're doing with this game anymore. Like,
I yeah. I think that timeline is dumb. Why, for starters, why show a gun that you're gonna add in March of next year?
yeah, it's weird.
Why not just add it? Like, obviously, balancing whatever gun balancing is important, but why would you show like something so inconsequential 7 to 8 months in advance like that? So, oh great, you're gonna add a gun and a map in
Yeah,
March of 2023. Like, who cares, dude? Who cares? Just
that pretty much just says, okay, wait until season 3 starts, and then come back. That's to me, that's what it said,
yeah,
because like that's kind of the big question. It's like, okay, like Halo's never added a gun before, into their games post launch. So that's cool that we're getting that. Like that makes sense. And it seems like an interesting weapon or whatever. But yeah, it's
I get that it's new for Halo, and that's all well and fine. But in the context of other online games that have battle passes, content updates, seasons,
yep,
those are adding a lot more than just new guns. Like,
yeah,
look at Fortnite. Like, you've been playing Fortnite for the past few weeks.
yeah. They had so much
Look how much
stuff.
that's changed in the past 3 months.
And
Like,
granted, I think they have people just constantly working on the game. But
mhm.
also like 343 is owned by Microsoft, like one of the biggest companies in the
Get more
world.
people in there.
You can't tell me that you can't get people in there, or adjust management, or figure out what the heck is going on, internally,
Yeah.
because again, you know you, every you know whatever 2 months, like Fortnite drops a new season, they have new weapons, they have new skins, obviously they have
New battle pass.
new abilities that you can pick up in the game, whatever the case is. Like they just added some new weapons like last week. They added like some silenced weapons, that just kind of like randomly drop. So like I don't get it. Like you can add stuff in the season. I think that's the biggest problem, is they get the season out there and then they just don't add anything.
And they expect it to float them until the next season,
Yeah,
which that's not how it works. That's not the case.
because I mean I was excited for season 2, but then you call it Lone Wolves, and I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like a loner. I don't know. Anyways, that's besides the point. But I mean, it was a cool cool update they did like for season 2, like the game mode. But I only played it like maybe 10 times, and I was like, all right, I'm kind of done. And then they have like their little week long events, which is cool. It usually has a different game mode, but
Mhm.
there's still like only 10 maps in the game. That's crazy. They just need
There's
more
only
stuff.
10?
I think so. I think there's only like 10 maps maybe total.
How many have they added since launch? I know they've added at least one.
I think
I
that
think
they've
that one
added
was called launch.
2 or 3, I
Right?
think. They
Okay.
added they added yeah, they added a big team battle map. It's like 2 or 3 that they've added. So again, all the stuff that they showed off, like it sounds like it's the step in the right direction. And season 3 goes from March 7th to June 27th, so that's perfect. That's a good time frame
3 months.
for a season. That's where it should be. But here we are. Game launches into 2021, and it's just kind of stale at this point. Again, the multiplayer, like the fundamental game is great. Like it's the best feeling Halo ever, but it just feels kind of empty. It sucks.
You can't delay a game a year and then spend the next year figuring out how to make your game work.
Yeah.
You can't delay Forge for an entire year after the game launches. You can't delay split screen. You can't delay co-op in general, and then just cancel split screen altogether. Like, it's poor management. It's poor expectation setting.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people are like they're waiting to play this with their kids, with their spouses, with their friends.
Yeah.
And you can play online, and I'm sure that's what most people would do anyways, but there's still like a minority of people that are dying for the split screen mode,
Yeah.
and they're not getting
and
it.
they run the numbers. They know how many people actually use split screen co-op, and it's probably pretty low considering everything. Because Halo 5 didn't have it. So I think they just looked at that, but again, it's not necessarily the split screen thing that I'm mad about or upset about. It's just always something. It's just again mismanagement. Obviously, it's somewhere along the lines. I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame because it's a great game.
Yeah, maybe turning this into a live service game was a bit of a mistake. Maybe Game Pass wasn't attributed to this. Maybe the Game Pass model, kind of inadvertently caused the issues that we're seeing, is that we didn't get a complete game.
Yeah.
At launch. In the context of what Halo should be.
Yeah. And you think that with how bad the Master Chief Collection was, how rough that was at launch for months, you think Microsoft would never allow that to happen again. And yeah, here we are. Obviously, it's ran better than the Master Chief Collection. I couldn't even play a game in that thing.
Couldn't play Big Team Battle for a month.
That is true. That is true.
Launch.
But for like months and months after the Master Chief Collection dropped, like I couldn't play even any game mode at all. So, but I mean, still not an excuse. It was still rough. So it's a shame. I'll continue to play. I play here and there. Just play a couple matches here and there. But yeah, I thought at this point in time I'd be playing like every day or a few times a week at this point, just because it's Halo. But nope,
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Well, here's hoping they figure it out.
Yeah. Nick, you want to read? We talked about It Takes Two. You want to read the next one?
Yeah. So some rumors or some alleged leaks are popping up online. Looks like Silent Hill 2 remake is getting ready to be announced soon. There are some leaks that Bloober Team is developing it, but at the same time, I think Konami recently said that they're about to announce a new game in a beloved franchise. So we don't know if that's connected. I don't know if that's connected to Silent Hill 2, but apparently Silent Hill 2 remake is happening.
Okay.
Which makes sense, like with all these remakes that are going on right now, like Resident Evil 4,
Yep,
Resident Evil 3, 2, like
Dead Space.
I think it's a good time for Silent Hill to kind of make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
it's like the most popular game in the franchise. Horror is
yeah,
all the rave right now. Like it's all like
it is.
everyone loves horror games. And they do insanely well on like TikTok and YouTube and everywhere. Like people love them. So yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense. Yeah, and I personally would love to play it because I've never played Silent Hill 2 or
same.
really any Silent Hill game. So I would definitely pick that up when that launches. Um, Glad to see Konami back in the game industry because they haven't put much out since Kojima split. They put out
Yeah.
that Metal Gear Survive, I think was the last one they put out. Maybe it's the last game they put out.
No,
Like a
they've
new
done
game.
remakes. Oh yeah, yeah. Last new game. They recently they've been doing like um re-releases, a lot of collections.
Yeah.
They just did like the Cowabunga collection for
Okay.
TMNT.
Okay. Cool.
So they've been like tapping into their IP and their legacy content, but I don't think they've done anything new in a while.
Yeah.
I guess well they're doing Super Bomberman
R2.
R2.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I guess they're doing that one. Yeah, Konami's funny, man. It's
They're in the pachinko business.
they love the pachinko business.
You want to read the next one as well?
Yeah, so I don't know if there's any validity to this because it hasn't been announced yet, and
Yeah.
these normally get announced like a week in advance. But people are speculating that there's going to be a state of play within the next few weeks,
Makes
and
sense.
makes sense kind of to combat the negative press that Sony got for increasing the prices on the PS5 everywhere except the US. So I think that makes sense that we'd see one in September
I mean, God of War comes
just
out
to
like
show off.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah, show off God of War. I don't know what else is on their release schedule for 2022. I don't think anything else is. And then 2023 we have uh Spider-Man 2. Is that the kind of the
I think so.
main game?
Yeah,
I
because
think Wolverine maybe.
Kotor got delayed indefinitely. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see Wolverine again until probably next year, and I think that'll be a 2024 game. Um, what else do they have? We're not going to see anything. Maybe we'll
Oh,
see
Final
Last of Us
Fantasy
multiplayer
16.
stuff. What'd you say?
Yeah. I said maybe Final Fantasy 16,
Oh yeah, yeah, maybe.
more of that. And then 7 remake 2 or whatever that one
It's called something
what was that
different. I
one
don't
called?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, so maybe I definitely expect to see either a state of play for just God of War itself, or they'll have a state of play here within the next couple of weeks and have God of War as like a big, like a
Hmm.
10-minute thing or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll see if that happens, but kind of the other Sony news of this week is that both Sony and Tencent have acquired. I think Sony already owned a little bit, but they acquired shares in FromSoft, with Sony owning 14% and Tencent owning 16%. And this is mainly because FromSoft wants to self-publish their games outside of the US, whereas previously they've used Bandai Namco and Activision for publishing.
okay,
So they don't have a majority stake, Sony and Tencent. So it's still the original owners that kind of get to call the shots. But
yeah.
here's
Still,
my question: is do you think this will influence anything in terms of like their releases and
I don't
exclusivity?
think so. Um, I think the best thing that could come out of this is a Bloodborne 2, right? I mean, like that's the big thing.
Bloodborne 2.
I don't think Tencent's really gonna care. Especially coming off of like Elden Ring and how
Like,
massive
yeah,
that
do
game
whatever you want.
was. They just want to get into the Elden Ring money is all they want.
Yeah.
Um, and no, I don't think like we don't have to worry about the next From game or From games going forward being exclusive. I think the next From game could be exclusive to PlayStation. Just kind of, I mean, like I said, Bloodborne was one of those. or they could be exclusive to Microsoft. We have no idea. Microsoft may be wanting to pump some money into them, saying, "Hey, we want something exclusive," because Elden Ring was huge. Get their own version of Bloodborne or whatever. So no, I don't think much is going to change from FromSoft. I still think we'll get the same great things we have gotten out of them. Did you read any of the Twitter thread that you posted about this?
Yeah, no, I was responding to that one guy.
Those two people went off for like a whole day, back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man! I commented one time and I was like, do you play? Because the original, like, you had said something about, please don't ruin FromSoft, blah blah blah, and someone was like, well, all their games are the same and repetitive, and I'm like, well, and then he mentioned like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Uncharted 4. I'm like,
pretty.
Those are those are games based off other games, and they're also influenced by their whatever, man, whatever. People just people love to hate on FromSoft. I don't get it.
People love to bait people.
Yeah.
Because I called it out. I was like, that's bait.
Yeah.
That's bait right there. And of course it was like that I went to their profile and like all they do is troll.
Yeah.
Troll FromSoft, troll Elden Ring. Like you really can't sit here and say that Elden Ring and Bloodborne and Dark Souls are all the same games.
Yeah.
Like they might
play similarly? Yeah, of course. I mean,
because it's a good formula.
Yeah, people like that's why Elden Ring has sold so well. I mean, it's a good formula, and I mean, Uncharted. Like you mentioned, Uncharted 4, which is a great game. It's a little bit too long, I think. Which I think a lot of those games are too long, but kind of the same formula.
Iterative.
You do a puzzle. It's iterative. Like you do a puzzle, you run to a firefight. You walk for a little bit, you do a puzzle at fire. It's the same thing. Like, are those the same games? Oh, no, they're not. No, they're not. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that whole conversation.
Yeah, as soon as I asked him what type of games do we play, and have you ever played a sequel, and he mentioned, I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm done talking to you. you answered my question right there. So, yeah, just bait. It's just bait.
Yeah. It's just bait.
Just bait.
Can't feed the fish.
Yeah, but yeah, I think FromSoft is fine. I don't think we have anything to worry about. Hopefully we get a Bloodborne 2. Maybe they announce that the next day to play. We never know. But yeah,
or like a remaster, 60 frames. That is one game where, like, yes, a $70 remaster, or I don't even know if $7 would be worth it, but a Bloodborne remake or remaster where the frame rate goes up to 60, looks great, maybe add the DLC, have that be included in the base game. That would be something that I'd be interested in from Sony. Just like Demon's Souls.
Yeah.
Where that's a $70 remake. But it's a warranted one because that game existed on the PS3.
Yeah.
So it didn't exist on the PS4, it wasn't remade or remastered or anything. I don't know. I kind of see that for Bloodborne.
Yeah, I do too. I would like to play that game again and better, higher fidelity and better frame rate. But, yeah, I would like to just see Bloodborne 2, see what they could do out of that. That could be cool.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
But, yep. All right, but guys, that is going to wrap up the show this week. We appreciate everyone, obviously downloading the show and listening to it. If you can, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you can leave reviews. It helps us out tremendously. And Nick, where can they follow us on our socials?
They can follow us on Twitter at GamingWTBros. That's where we're most active, I'd say. That and TikTok, which is at GamingWithTheBrosCast. You can email us any questions at GamingWithTheBrosCast@yahoo.com. And then you can join our Discord down in the link below. And Harrison, you said you were planning to stream a Nintendo Direct whenever that happens.
Yes,
I will join you if that. Yeah,
you'll join.
If it's after 5, I'll join.
Okay.
And stream it. I think. I think it will be if it's a big one.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be too. Yeah. So yeah, whenever whenever they do announce that thing, I'll definitely be streaming it for sure. And yeah, like Nick said, if he can after work or something like that, we'll do a duo reaction stream to it. But I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the tingles are
Feeling it
high right
tingles?
now. It's tingle time.
I'm excited. I feel really good about this one.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to, get too excited, trying to keep my expectations in check. But, with Mr. Grubb hyping up Metroid Prime Remake,
Yep.
Breath of the Wild 2, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, like, that's pretty big.
I'm just excited because we haven't had a proper direct since what, February, right?
Since February, and that one was pretty good.
Yeah,
that one
that was
we had a
good.
lot. We had Xenoblade, Strikers, Switch Sports, which all didn't pan out, but
It was good, but the game sucked. Whatever.
the announcements were fun.
Yeah, I'm excited just for another direct. Like I want a big 40-minute, 50-minute direct.
Oh yeah, inject
Like,
it.
just give it to me. Whatever it
The
is.
the veins are ready.
Yep, just directly to the veins. But we will catch you guys next Monday at 8:30 over on twitch.tv/gaming with the broscast.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, hopefully everyone has a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.